Yo, guys, welcome back. Tonight was the Dev Live for Season 3, Episode 3, that most importantly features our savior, Daya, daughter of Gley. We are also going to get a look at the new dungeon, where we will be farming Daya, along with one of two new weapons, a new battle pass, the return of Infernal Walker, a massive rework for Gley, clairvoyance, and the long-awaited hammer and anvil buff. We, of course, also get a marathon of upcoming skins and events that I will place at the end of the video. With that out of the way, let's get into it. We started out with a roadmap for the next 3 months. A very noteworthy thing is the delay of the Onslaught mode beta, which is now in April. We do get another new dungeon next month, and what looks to be dual swords, but other than that, more reworks, balances, and the return of Abyss Colossus that we've already had. Not much new content on the horizon. I'm not sure what takes them so long to produce content. This game was in the top 50 sellers on Steam in 2025, and I imagine did very well in the 7 months it was out in 2024, especially with the amount of players the game had on launch. For my personal opinion, I'm tired of seeing reworks, rebalances, and no new content. I really hope the content cycle changes drastically with Season 4. Now, let's get to why we're all gathered here today. Daya. They started out with the trailer that was released a few days ago. I will link that in the description. I highly suggest checking that out. One of the best things this game has ever done. Daya is going to be a chill Descendant with fusion and singular. Start rounding up those chill fusion reactors. She is also going to be a skill-based crit Descendant, so crit damage on the reactors will most likely be a must, with our usual Colossus damage for bosses and cooldown for mobbing. Next, we got a skill showcase. I will do my best to cover all the skills here, along with her Transcendent mods. Daya's passive is Frozen Delight. When equipped with a melee weapon, Daya will get a stat increase proportional to max HP. This stat specifically being crit chance, up to 45%. She will also have a custom resource called Delight that will give her a skill power increase. Glacial Clash will give her Delight. Her first ability is Glacial Clash, which she will lunge forward with her lance. When you hold the skill, the attack is longer, and she moves at a faster speed. This ability inflicts Snowflake on the enemies, dealing an AoE damage explosion. Her first ability also has a synergy with swords. After using Glacial Clash, using a sword will add a damaging AoE effect onto the sword. Her second ability is Ice Wall, a singular skill. This is a self buff, giving her an increase to defense and skill critical hit damage and health recovery. This also buffs Glacial Breakthrough's movement speed and duration. Ice Wall will also explode to do AoE damage. Her third ability is Avalanche. This is her toe ability. This will also buff her first ability's damage and duration, also causing chill explosions. These explosions proc Frostthorn, giving Daya's custom resource. Her fourth ability sends the lance forward as a projectile, latching onto enemies and doing damage over time. Daya will come with two Transcendent mods, Chillbrand and Blooming Ecstasy. This will basically change all relevant skills to fusion. Blooming Ecstasy will modify Daya's first and fourth abilities. Her fourth will send her in the air and send her lance down to place an AoE circle dealing continuous damage. It also gains a damage and range increase the longer it is charged. Chillbrand will modify Daya's second and third abilities. This is said to be her Colossus Hunting Transcendent mod. This is changing her third ability from a toe effect to a very high damage forward lunge ability with her lance. And for her second ability, she will consume resource added to her passive, giving her more skill power. Chillbrand is what is added to her passive. This is a chance on hit to gain. Overall, I think Daya looks great. I'm excited to get my hands on her and put a mobbing build together, and also a build for the return of Infernal Walker. Like I said, get those chill fusion reactors ready. We did get a look at Daya's skins. I will have those at the end of the video with the rest of the skins that were showcased. Now, of course, where do we get Daya? The new dungeon, Underwater Base, looks about the same as the two previous dungeons. Hopefully they learned from the mistakes they made when releasing those and making the drop rates horrible. We'll find out on Thursday. We are also finally getting two new guns, the E-Buster. This is a gun that is specifically made to be in the hands of Inez. Electric projectiles buff the gun and also buff electric skill power, made to mostly help Inez take down elites, but I'm not sure this electric skill power even comes close to Secret Garden. E-Buster can be farmed in the new dungeon. Then we have the Battle Pass weapon, Eye of the Storm. This looks cool overall. I like the effects. It could be an AoE weapon, but the beams can also be concentrated into a single beam. Time will tell if these two weapons will actually be usable. Then we got a preview of the new Battle Pass, and the skin for this one is a huge improvement compared to the previous Battle Pass skin. Other than that, a lot of the same here. They announced Dia Ancestor mods, and the 3 new trigger modules that released with Season 3, Episode 3 will be tradable with the update, so no wait period for trading those. The new trigger mods can be farmed in the new dungeon or Wall Crasher. Those mods are Focus and Expansion. This is made specifically for Gley, adding an AoE effect to her weapon damage that scales off of HP. Basically, Serena in a trigger mod. Icebreaker, when attacking enemies in Frostbite with a skill weapon, type skill, deal damage to the target and nearby enemies, and grant Icebreaker to self. Icebreaker stacks 30 times and gives a skill power buff. And Overcharged Shield for Kyle. We will also be getting some more ultimate mods, which are going to be on the screen now. Next up, we have the Gley rework, and it's a big one, so bear with me. I think I got it all down. Her passive skill change, so life spheres generate by chance when attacking enemies. Frenzy buffs have been buffed. Life Siphon restores more health than before. Increased Sensory has received a longer duration. For Massacre, instead of consuming health, it consumes Power of Life, increasing skill power, and the projectiles from Massacre bounce between enemies. But Massacre now has a skill duration. Massive Sangrification, second ability, grants more Power of Life than before, and more HP when not in Frenzy. Super Senses changes to a skill set that they say is strong in Colossus fights. Using Plunder restores health and applies bleed to enemies. This stacks. Super Senses increases movement speed, farm critical hit damage, and weak point damage. Slaughter deals damage to a single target and more damage to enemies with the bleed status effect. Predator Instinct has been buffed, adding multi-hit chance and damage. Blood and Iron enhances the synergy with melee weapons. Attacking with melee weapons gains Power of Life. Frenzy is going to enhance swords. There's also a new 4th ability for Gley with Blood and Iron that looks very similar to Mesa from Warframe. Explosive Life is staying similar to the base setup, generates Power of Life more frequently, and Skill 2 uses less Power of Life. Demonic Modification consumes more Power of Life to become more powerful, and aiming the weapon reduces health for more skill power. This is also going to be a AoE type skill. Oh, and great news, Kyle is getting a rework. Hammer and Anvil and Clairvoyance are also getting buffs. Clairvoyance will get an added effect where you gain frozen spears as you fire, and then these spears will fire for more damage. Hammer and Anvil is getting this. Then we're getting the return of Infernal Walker, which will be buffed to keep up with the insane power creep we have seen since the original release of this Colossus, and the original skins will also return. We're getting a new system called HQ Order. This is for new players and returning players as a way to fast track getting Descendants, Fellows, and weapons. Last up, they announced the return of the boost path, similar to the one we got with Season 3's release, but without the rush through the story, a few quality of life improvements, and we finally will be able to start research through the companion app. So now that most of us have hundreds of catalysts at this point, this timing is perfect. That covers everything for the dev stream. Dia looks like a hit. Her story is also a hit. The problem to me is the lack of anything significant around her. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and if you plan on trying the update. Like and subscribe is appreciated. Thanks, guys. Peace.